Hi everybody, this is Sue at New Hat Gardening. Today I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why I don't sell or grow microgreens anymore. Let's go. I'm going to be brutally honest because I don't want people to go into this with this false idea that they can quit their day job. Please don't quit your day job. Don't do that. This was something that I thought I could be very profitable at because I already had a greenhouse and a setup and I'm very much in the plant business and world. And I always thought that it would be really fun to set up microgreens as part of my plant selling farmers markets. I had a little booth. I was already selling plants. I thought this could be a really fun addition. Plus, I always was just really curious and interested in it, and I thought it'd be a great way to add some value to what I was already doing. So that being said, I invested in all the trays, everything got all of my cocoa core, the seeds, made that investment because I thought this was really something I wanted to do, and it really was. And I'm not going to tell you that it's not a really fun hobby, but it's a difficult way to make a living. I had a whole room built out because I realized quickly that the greenhouse was way too warm and you have to have a lot of temperature regulation and to prevent like mold and fungus and all that stuff that comes along with growing things in a very moist conditions. So I had all the racks, I invested in racks, fans, proper lighting, the right great trays from just really good high quality trays. And I did all of it. I grew some beautiful microgreens and then I brought them to market. Okay, so farmers markets are a really great way to get your products out there. And I did sell some, but I didn't always sell everything that I grew. So I was stuck with all this inventory, and if I didn't sell it in time, then what was I going to do with it, right? I did decide I had another alternative way of dealing with the extra micros. We ate some at home, of course, but there's really only so much microgreens your family can have and tolerate. So I did come up with an option and an alternative, which I'll discuss with you later. But yeah, what do you do with the extra inventory? So you've spent all this time and investment growing, watering, checking your temperatures. There's no vacation because you can't leave the greens more than a day. You have to water them morning and evening. Paying someone is like not gonna happen because you're not making that much profit enough to be able to pay someone for, say, I had 3 racks at one point, and I promise you guys, you're not gonna yield $500 a rack. I never did. I never did. I did it, I enjoyed it, and I never profited that much. By the time you invest all your time, all of the equipment, paying for a booth at a farmer's market, paying for the packaging, everything that's involved, you're really not making that much money. So if you wanted to do this as a hobby, I highly recommend it. It's a very fun hobby, and if you can sell a few packs here and there, that's wonderful. Maybe offset your cost for your family for eating microgreens and getting all the health benefits from that. I did not have luck. I think the only reason and the only way that you can make some money is if you rent out a warehouse and you just have mass amounts of racks. And then that way, if you have like enough of that stuff going out to restaurants and things, and you can keep that inventory going, maybe you can hire some help, maybe you can make some money. But I wouldn't go quitting your day jobs. Don't do it. No, 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 don't do it. The next reason why I didn't want to continue on was there's really not a very good profit margin. Unfortunately, I was selling my microgreens at pretty premium prices. I was selling them $6 per ounce. And when you go to other stores, and I'm not going to mention any, but it's ours for the tea, maybe has a J in it. Their micros are like $3, $4 for each container, and I can't compete with that, guys. I was really only making about $2 to $3 per container, and that's really not accounting for my time. And in my opinion, if you're only gonna have a couple of racks, you're really probably losing money. I said it. There, said it. I said it. So the startup cost for me, not including a special room that I had built, was about $1,500. By the time you buy all of the equipment, you're looking at about $500 a rack. You have to buy all the trays, all the soil, the medium, the lighting, the fans that go with it. It adds up real fast, guys. And then, you have to keep replacing that medium because you cannot reuse that. It was just a lot. And then going in there every morning, every night, setting everything up to timers. If you wanted to take a day trip and go someplace, maybe an overnight visit, it's not going to happen. Because if you miss one of those days and that medium dries out, your micros are going to suffer for it. So you're kind of, once you plant those seeds in, you have 10 days that you're stuck at home. If you leave, you're going to lose your crop. And you have to keep up that momentum. So you have to keep starting new seeds so that once you harvest those seeds after 10 days, you have another harvest coming up for the next week's farmer's market. So you really have to have multiple racks set up. So say you have your first rack set up and that one is ready to harvest in 10 days, your next rack needs to be ready to go for the next week, that maybe another 5 days. So each rack is like in 5-day increments, if that makes sense, so that every week you have some micros to sell. The farmers markets are not free. A lot of times they can be anywhere from $50 to $100 depending on where you are. So you have to take that out of your profit. The time that you put into every day maintaining and monitoring those micros, electricity, there's extra electric that's involved with all this, your time, your spouse's time. There's just so much involved in all of this, replacing and having good containers because you have to have something to put them in. It's a lot. So you start taking that out and you might profit $200 maybe. And I don't even know, like after you put in your time, you're basically breaking even. I think that if you did it for yourself, it's fantastic. It's a really fun way to grow your own food. It's a really fun learning lesson for kids. I think that's all really good, positive things. But don't quit your day job. So outside of using the farmer's market as my outlet for selling, I did confront quite a few restaurants, and they're looking for not only being extremely consistent, because you can't tell them 1 week, sorry, my harvest didn't, I didn't yield a harvest, or I don't have that much micros this week, or I was even growing just radishes for one place, and they needed such a large amount that I wasn't able to keep up with that. And I really, literally was not making enough money to compensate for my time and delivery. It was stressful because that they're depending on you to be able to have that product in their restaurant. You're not just selling to an individual who you can say, hey, sorry, we had a bad harvest this week, or I can't make it out this week, or for whatever reasons. An individual can say, oh, it's no problem, I'll just pick up some at the store. Maybe they're just really trying to support you, which I had those situations. But when it comes to restaurants, the chef is not going to tolerate that, guys. They have a job to do, and they need consistent food and inventory so that they can keep their jobs going, and worrying about whether or not you're going to bring them their ingredients that they need to make their dish. If you can't do that, you're out of there, because they don't have time for that. They have so many other things to worry about. So you have that extra added stress of being able to put out the microgreens on a schedule because someone else has a schedule. I didn't really want to get into all that, honestly, so I ended up not wanting to sell to restaurants. I just wanted to grow microgreens and sell them. And I was like, wow, an extra $500 a week. Wow. That did not happen. We were exhausted after farmers markets because not only is just a lot of work getting everything set up, some of the days out here would get over 100 degrees, and you're sitting out there on a concrete with ice chests trying to keep your products from wilting, and you're like dying a heat stroke. And then you get home and you might have made $160 for the day because you're selling $6 boxes of micros. So do the math. If I sold, I don't know, let's just say I sold 30 boxes. Yeah, that's $180, guys. That is not a lot. And then I have to back out the fee for the farmer's market. Say it was $50. So I'm at $130, and then I spent 6 hours out there. Really? No. It's not worth it. And then the time that it took me to grow all those micros during a week. Makes me really sad because it was something that I really truly enjoyed to do, and I will continue growing some for myself, maybe just one tray of broccoli or just some simple trays in the window of the kitchen. And if someone wanted some, of course, I would chop some and put them in a little container for them. But I ended up just selling everything to another person who was very eager to try growing microgreens. And I wish them all the luck. Maybe they'll be better at it than I am. I'm not trying to discourage you, but I am going to be honest with you. Honesty really hurts sometimes, guys, especially when you put your heart and soul into something like I did, and then you realize this is not working. And it's not worth my time, even though it's something that I truly enjoyed doing. It was just not worth the time. So I stopped and I sold all of my equipment, and the person who got it got some really great equipment to get started at a really good price. The room that we built out cost about $1,500 to build, and it's so cool. It's like temperature controlled and fans and all these things, and now we're just using it as a secondary hobby room that we have. And so it's not going completely to waste, but that was another investment that I made because I was so eager to make this work. And when you don't succeed the way that you think you will in anything, whether it's a hobby or a career, and it just doesn't pan out, it hurts. Like it's like kind of a blow. But, I tried it, and I think had I not tried it, I would have regretted it more than trying it and being not as successful as I thought. I don't consider it a fail because I learned a lot, and I can share things like this with you. If you're considering it, consider how much time, how much effort, and that you would probably need to have a large amount of microgreens growing so that you can have a higher turnover, but you also have to have someone to sell those microgreens to. Which leads me to, if I didn't sell the microgreens, what am I going to do with them? Well, I came up with a solution that I chopped them. I already had them all cut. So what I did is I put them in a dehydrator and dehydrated them. And then I ground them up into a powder, and then I sold it as a powder form. And that way I wasn't losing money. I was just kind of like not wasting the micros, and I could sell the little packets of the powdered broccoli, radish, whatever. And then people can add that to like smoothies or their seasoning mix. I've even tried making seasoning mix with it. All things that were just for me to try to not lose money and not to waste my product. And so those are some creative ways. I thought that was a pretty cool way to utilize the micros that I didn't end up selling at farmers markets. So I just wanted to give you a little insight on my experiences with this, because I do see that a lot of people have clicked on my microgreen videos, and I'll post some of the other ones up here so that you can still continue to look at those and see how I started, and then use this video as a reference of how it ended up for me. You might be the most successful microgreen grower, farmer out there, and I wish you all the luck. But this is just my honest opinion on how I did not succeed at it as well as I thought I would. So if you're going to be out there trying to grow microgreens, consider this video my experience, but don't let it discourage you, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to let you know my honest experience. So if you have any questions, I would love to help you and answer anything that I can. Just go ahead, post that in the comments and I'll get back to you. And if you like the video, give me a little subscribe, a like, hang out with me. And if you have any questions, maybe that will give me some inspiration for some other videos that I can do to help more people that are considering growing microgreens. So until then, thanks a lot for being here. I appreciate it. And I hope this video helped you. And I hope that whatever it is you choose to do in life, that you're successful at it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.